What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. We are here for episode 3 of our 1995 Madden franchise mod here with the expansion season of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are absolutely crushing it. We are inspired by such expansion teams. Here's a throwback for you as a lone Florida Panther fan living in Canada. Panthers' second year from expansion in the NHL. They went to the Stanley Cup final. You're looking right now at expansion teams in the NHL. The Vegas Knights are like one of the best teams in the NFL very early in infancy, and that's exactly what we're doing here in Jacksonville. Now, it is a little bit of a bummer, as you can see at the top there. Week 7, we did lose to the Houston Oilers, which I was on the sticks for, which blemished our record at 6-1, but our team is definitely punching above their weight class here as a 72 overall squad to be 6-1 with a top 5 offense and a defense that's somewhat respectable. We are here at the bye week. Today we're going to be finishing this 1995 season, and we're going to go all the way probably up to the draft. I feel like that'll probably be a good finishing point here. But as it stands right now, man, we got it going. Keenan McCardell, Jimmy Smith, Desmond Howard, Bo Jackson, Mark Brunell has been sensational. It might be hard to look him in the face, okay? That is a tough face to love. But Mark freaking Brunell, who we're going to make right now, we're going to award him a team captaincy spot, has been incredible. 7 games, 18 touchdowns, 11 picks, thrown to nobodies. And that's with full respect to Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell and what they were able to become in their career. But they're both 74 overall. And, you know, we are trying our absolute best here to make it work, and we are finding a way to make it work. Offensive line is solid. Quick recap on the defense. We are led by Warren Sapp, our first-round pick in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Warren Sapp has been an absolute monster. The last game that we hopped on the sticks, man, just dominant with the interior pressure. 17 tackles, 5 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, and that is an outstanding pace before even the midway point of his rookie season. I mean, double-digit sacks for a D tackle. You're talking like Aaron Donald territory, and that is obviously the expectations we have for Warren Sapp. Now, we talked about in the last episode, we kind of, this series is going to go from preseason to the trade deadline, and then we're going to talk, end the episode like, do we make some trades? And then the next episode, we're going to go up to the draft. We couldn't really find any trades worth making right now, especially when you go on to the actual trade block. It's pretty rough. There's not a lot. Like, we got Jim Harbaugh here, some running backs. We don't really need a running back, especially with Bo Jackson right now in our backfield. The offensive line spot looks pretty good, but there's also an element that, isn't this guy like an actor? Matt Willig? I feel like he was. Wasn't he in, what was that movie Rob Zombie made? I could be tripping, though. It could just be a common name. But there's just, if I was going to make a trade at this point, it had to be someone that I heard of. Someone that I've like, oh, yeah, let's make him. I really wanted a linebacker because I feel like there's a severe lack of speed at the linebacker spot, but the only 2 linebackers we're trading for are edge rushers, and they don't really fit our scheme right now. So I think we're just going to have to, kind of punt here at the trade deadline and shift our focus to the draft, where the most recent mock draft has us, because we're picking way down there, Muhsin Muhammad, legendary, I don't know if overall legendary, but definitely a legendary Carolina Panther wide receiver. I'm assuming we are going to slow up a little bit, but, I mean, with the pace that we're setting, it's likely we're going to be picking in the 20s. And there's some value there. We got Ray Lewis just outside the top 20. And for my need at linebacker, if we can build our defense slowly around Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp, that's huge. We got Brian Dawkins, who, all things equal, it's going to be incredibly difficult for me to take anybody over Brian Dawkins if he is available to us. We have Amani Toomer, who was an excellent wide receiver for the New York Giants primarily. We have Mike Allstott, which, if there's a way that, like, for example, and I talked about this at the end of the last episode, if we're picking like in this range, if I can get a Ray Lewis or a Brian Dawkins, and then, Mike Allstott's still available, I'm probably just going to make a move because I really want to make Mike Allstott my running back 1. I know he pretty much was a glorified running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got a Mike Allstott jersey in my closet right there that I'll probably bust out if I can get a trade to get him on our team, because that is a guy that I want ultimately out of all the running backs in this class to be the successor to Bo Jackson. I would love to give Mike Allstott a career as a true running back 1, not as like an RB2 short yardage guy like he was in his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But for today's episode, we are going to finish out the regular season, close out our expansion year. We are 6-1. Let's see how we can close it up. My guess is we're going to finish probably I think between 8 and 10 wins, but you never know. First up on the docket out of our bye was the Chicago Bears, who are a legit squad at this given juncture, and I actually have a really tough matchup here this week against the Giants. And with that loss, the Colts propel themselves to first place in the AFC South. They just have an extra game in hand, but that's a rough loss, man. 2 losses in a row might rattle this very young and inexperienced team. So if we want to try to get a little good news going our way, let's look at some contracts here, try to resign some players, try to resign at least like the top guys that we don't want to let walk. And I mean, I'm not overly attached to a lot of these players. A lot of these players are the expansion draft players, which I don't think they have a particularly long career ahead of them here in Jacksonville. But I'll tell you right now, such names as Harry Coleman, we'll throw a contract at because his name's freaking Harry Coleman. We got Bo Jackson. I mean, honestly, for a 1-year deal, the jerseys are flying off the shelves. Having a absolute superstar, even at the end of his career, Bo Jackson on the squad. So I don't really want to let him walk. We have Dave Thomas. Honestly, if you're above a 70 overall, you're probably one of our better players, and I want to try to extend you. Even though these are pretty expensive contracts for these guys in relation to their rating. We have James Williams at linebacker. He actually made a couple nice TFLs in the game that we did play against the Oilers. Made enough of an impression that I'll throw him a contract. We have Mark Brunell, who I don't think we're going to be in a position to get a quarterback, so we'll offer him a 4-year, $75 million deal, betting that he's going to continue to play at this level. And then at worst, now that we give him this contract, I would love to see him get off that normal dev and gain a star dev trait. My God, he is hideous. Marquez Pope was one of our picks, our later picks in the expansion draft that we had, where we had 5 selections, and I want to keep him on the back end of our defense. Jimmy Smith, absolutely get him a 3-year deal. Want to try to recreate the success that he had. We have Larry Webster, who's another one of our picks from the expansion draft, followed us over from the Miami Dolphins. I think he's a nice partner there alongside Warren Sapp. Does a lot of the ugly work, so Warren Sapp can get after the quarterback. And speaking of players that joined us from the Dolphins, Jeff Novak, one of our highest rated players. You run your linemen into the ground. Let's see if we can give him a very reasonable 3-year deal that is exceptionally cheap. And Jeff Novak is signed. So we're able to handle our business here. We still have an insane amount of salary cap place. Even though this isn't going to be a series I think we want to go super hard in free agency to improve the squad, I'm not going to be against maybe making an exciting move or two if the opportunity presents itself. We're able to stop a 4-game losing streak, only losing 3 in a row, to get a nice victory here over Shannon Sharp and the Denver Broncos, 28-20. Getting back in the Player of the Week column, Mark Brunell carried the squad here today. 305 yards, 4 touchdowns. Absolute gas from our quarterback. Setback loss week 12 against the Chargers, but there was a slight silver lining as we did earn a breakout scenario for Harry Coleman. Awesome name, first team all name, but we did just pick up a 3-year option on him, mainly because of his name. But if he can get this and get a star dev trade, win or lose, that is going to be putting us definitely further ahead than what we thought. It's a tough matchup here. Big time AFC South matchup between us and the Colts, and it is a one-sided ass kicking. 31-13. Doesn't look like it's getting any easier as we take on the undefeated Cowboys. But as long as we got a nice little dev trade here for Harry Coleman, which we did not, brutal. Everything is not ideal. Can we beat the Cowboys? Come on. I do want to take a moment here to spend a little bit of staff points with our talent tree. Joining this Jaguars squad, formerly as the offensive coordinator from the Miami Dolphins, we brought over our OC talent tree with us. So we haven't really, we've had a little bit of affordability and budget because, this came with us. So we now need to decide how we want to flush out our talent tree here. And it's really, you want to make the decision. Do you want to go for player growth right away? Or do you want to kind of grind your way through the staff mods to get all the way down to after-school tutoring, which may be the best talent tree ability you can get? I don't know. It's really between that and the final piece, which means all players on your scheme fits gets a little bit extra XP every single week. But I just think overall, the grind to get down there, we're not going to be utilizing any of these 6 little spots here. I don't think anyone's going to be rushing to poach any of our OCs or DCs. So I think right now, player growth is definitely the best avenue for us to help our squad. And I think personally, instead of just doubling up and maximizing it as we go down, I kind of want to take the approach of just getting down as quickly as I can to unlock the final piece. Hopefully, you know, we're kind of winning and losing some games now, breaking even, going 50-50. I would just love a nice little personal goal to be able to unlock the final piece before the end of this expansion season. You know what? I kind of want to hop on the sticks here. What better than just to see what this I already know it's going to be frustrating. I already know we're probably going to get our ass kicked, but what if we can win? What if we can find a way to be the 1-12-1? Looking at this Cowboys team, just out of curiosity, like, what are they working with? They got Troy Aikman, a quarterback, X Factor. Brick wall, that's kind of useless. Evan Smith at running back. Michael Irvin. Jay Novacek. Just superstars, Nate Newton. They don't got Larry Allen. Was this before? No, there's no way this was before Larry. He must have been somewhere else. Oh, there he is. Wow. I'm not going to help them out any, but you might want to shuffle around the O-line there. Defensively, Charles Haley, legend Leon Lett with the superstar. They got Robert Jones, Darren Smith, Kevin Smith. I'm not going to lie, I don't know who any of these people are, but Darren Woodson's an absolute beast. X-Factor, strong safety. All right, I mean, I'm kind of seeing why they're undefeated. They're arguably the best team at this point in time. This is when they're winning their Super Bowls. Trust me, that's all their fans can freaking talk about. But it's time to play spoiler here. Just stars all on this offense. Luckily, Warren Sapp's lining against... Oh, they got Larry Allen back there. Oh, there we go. Almost a pick. Get out of here. Michael Irvin eaten alive by Dave Thomas. Just got a new contract. He's feeling it. There we go. TFL there. James Williams bringing down Emmitt Smith, but an injury to Legman. That is our highest rated edge rusher with a staggering 75 overall. Okay. Get out the field. Let's go Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell has been slanging it these last couple weeks. We're going to need something special out of him today. Jimmy Smith on the outside. You think he can win? Not really, but you think Mark Brunell gives a shit? Let's go, Mark. Get that first down, buddy. Where's the extra 15? That seemed excessive from Charles Woodson. 3rd and 7. Running the football just not really working here. Jump on it! Are you kidding, man? Again, we're playing Madden 22. If you have to give credit, Madden 23 definitely feels like the fumble awareness, situational awareness, definitely improved on like the next gen mechanics. I'm getting PTSD right there from that moment. Kidding me? Like 3 of my fucking guys there. And like, oh yeah, their guy that made the tackle can get up, turn around, and also find it at the bottom of the pile. All right. It literally looked like he was trying not to score and still found a way to score. They're toying with us. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, come on, Jimmy. This is a defensive prima donnas. They don't want nothing. And oh, yeah, no worries. Just my top edge rusher goes down, and then off play, my top wide receiver goes down against the 12-0 juggernaut of the NFL. Awesome. Pectoral strain. Get your ass back out there, buddy. 3rd and 3. We got Bo Jackson out the backfield. Oh, his hands kind of suck. I want to get this to Desmond Howard. Look, he wins. Oh, let's go! 2nd and 2. Really want to get this to Keenan McCardell. As long as this play can develop, I think we'll be able to fucking... Oh, I thought that was picked. Right adjustment by McCardell. 1 yard. Bo Jackson should be automatic. As long as our offensive line doesn't get pushed back here. And we'll take it. Wasn't pretty, but that is still a equalizing touchdown. And maybe just enough to rattle the best team in the league. Oh, no. We're going to let Emmett... Oh. We do not... If he can get to the second level, I don't think we have the talent to bring him down. Too easy, man. Too easy. Novacek takes the catch. We need to score here before halftime, or this is going to turn into a rout. I love Jimmy Smith. Or like just someone win on the outside once. Don't need anything crazy. Don't need to win consistently. Just once. Give me a chance. And like there, missed throw. Should have been a massive catch and gain. Terrible throw by Mark Brunell, setting up a 3rd and 10. I mean, if we can get this close, I'll be in 4-down territory, but Our passing offense has been spotty. Throw it on the inside. Hey, good grab. Keenan McCardell. Jimmy one on the outside. Come on, Jimmy. This is like your old team. The Cowboys gave up on Jimmy Smith, and then in real life he went to the Jags and crushed it. This needs to be a revenge game. Doesn't want it. Luckily, Keenan McCardell, he wants it. And Jimmy Smith hurt us. He wants it, baby. Let's go. Predictable. Michael Irvin. I mean, it looks like they're not burning a time, but maybe they're just gonna go for the field goal. They are. All right. Could have been a lot worse. Seven is at least off the table. They miss it. 3rd and 4. Opening drive. A chance to tie this up. Desmond Howard. He's been awesome, man. What an awesome player. Had expectations. Maybe he'd have to be a gadget player. Maybe we'd have to look at a playbook that can utilize him just getting handoffs and stuff. Man, he's been great as a wide receiver. I mean, that ridiculous one-handed catch in the first half. Take a shot here. 2nd and 8. In field goal range. Not the worst thing here. Points is points. But a touchdown would be way cooler. We get a Heisman Trophy winner in Desmond Howard here, fellas, who's just decided to play like a Heisman Trophy winner. Come on, Bo. Get us something manageable here, buddy. Or just take it all the way. Best team in the NFL, my ass. As Bo Jackson carries a couple guys like children as he reaches over 100 yards. 3rd and 4, we get a wide stick. Try to hit Jimmy Smith on this slant. Got to watch the star guy there on the left. I can see him wanting to jump a quick throw. Look, Jimmy Smith wins. Free release. Inside, and the Jags have a lead. Let's go, man. Jimmy Smith revenge game. Jesus. Who's this? Brutal. Well, we had the lead for 5 seconds. That was cool. Decent blocking. Bo Jackson gets to the outside. Shoelace tackle prevents that from maybe being a touchdown. 2-minute warning. First play. Let's at least get this clock rolling and make Dallas think about it. They're gonna let it run? Okay. Bold. Classic Mike, be it 1995 or 2023, Mike McCarthy's clock management, horrific. I'll play for the field goal. I know that's stupid, but if they're gonna let the clock roll, I trust I can get 3 and then put all the onus on my defense. Massive play. 3rd and inches. We get the first down here. We control our destiny. Bo Jackson. I think I'd rather a fullback in the backfield here. Fuck. All right, we'll kick it. Get the lead. It is a 38-yard field goal. At least we don't have the weird kicking animation, which is great. So no pressure. Able to nail this one right down the middle. The defense's time. They want to get the upset of the season. They want to make sure the goddamn Dallas Cowboys don't go undefeated this year. Love like a Warren Sapp sack, and they just go wide open in the middle of the field. Come on, Warren. Come on, Warren. You're an X factor, bud. You got to take the game over. They are taking their sweet old time, though. 2nd and 5. 1 sack. 1 sack is all we need. Warren Sapp is just right there. Jump him! Yes! Third and 16. What do we got here? Dumas. I don't know who this is, but we're going to use him. They're not going to Marvin here. They're just going to run right past us. Give me that upset of the year. Let's go. Harry Colin! Let's go! Who else? Who else but Harry Colin would put the first blemish on the Dallas Cowboys record? Let's freaking go. What a freaking game. Mark Brunell outduels current MVP favorite Troy Aikman. 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, 126 yards on 27 carries for Bo Jackson. Role players stepped up, and when you needed it most, Harry freaking Colin seals the deal. The week after the Cowboys victory, lose to the Chiefs 35-13, and that's not really even the worst thing that fell that game. We are going to be without easily our best player for the remainder of the season as Warren Sapp suffers a broken collarbone, and he's going to be out for the next 6 weeks. He suffered a really bad loss. Week 16, Washington defeats us 34-28. We are 8-7, trying to be the Cinderella seed right now. 6th seed. Very close to being on the outside looking in, but we're on the inside looking out as it stands right now. The Cinderella team of the entire NFL. The expansion Jags. I mean, we could probably slip up once more, potentially, but you don't want to lose that much. And now we got the Eagles coming to town. They're not that good. They're only 77 overall. That's a tough loss, week 17. I mean, they've been close losses, too. I can almost accept it if we're just getting, like, the brakes beaten off us, but now we are out of the playoffs. Dolphins and Bengals. I mean, you know, we got the Bengals here. Final week of the season. We win this one, we might just control our destiny, and they're not particularly good. They're only at a 78 overall. The one good news is that, at least in terms of silver lining, we are able to kind of fully flesh out the first wave of our talent tree, and we're able to get the final piece, which is going to help our team going forward, which is one of the mini goals, but the biggest goal was to shock the world, especially after beating the Cowboys, to go on and make the playoffs as an expansion team. 8-8, 9 wins could do it, but a lot falls here on us versus the Bengals. And in the final week of the season, playoffs on the line. Oh man, look at our team fall off the cliff, man. We were a top 5 offense to start this video, and we've plummeted. Fair to say, plummeted. Back down to earth here. I mean, Warren Sapp getting hurt. Mark Brunell tore his fucking groin, dude. Like, our best guys are done. Mark Brunell is even going to be back to start the next season. I mean, what can you do? Arguably, like, you throw in, you know, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell. One of those two, our 4 or 5 best, 3 of our 5 best players are done. I mean, you know, the wheels fell off. That's why you put injuries on, though, to throw wrenches into things, and the wrench certainly fell. At least we say we can beat the Cowboys. We were 3 spots out. At least it wasn't that close, I guess. We sabotaged ourselves, lost 4 in a row. And I think it's a little easier being 2 wins out from the playoff spot than it being, like, you know, the Patriots or the Bills, like the one team that's kind of on the outside looking in. Doesn't make it that much easier, though, to swallow that one. Looking at our stats, I mean, we still got to be happy with how the guys played, how the guys fought. Mark Brunell was awesome. Hopefully that is enough to get him off the normal dev and up to a start. Did have a lot of interceptions, though. He might still be returning next year off of injury as a normal dev, but 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns is really, really good. Bo Jackson joined the team late, but still 800 yards, 5 touchdowns, sold a lot of jerseys. That was really the plan for him. Jimmy Smith, 76 catches, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Pete Mitchell, our rookie tight end, 91 catches, leading the team in receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Desmond Howard going over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Keenan McCardell, 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. We got this head coaching job with the Jags because of our dominant air raid offense last year with Dan Marino and the Dolphins, and we were able to make chicken salad out of chicken shit for how limited our squad was in terms of ratings to get almost, you know, get 3,000-yard receivers with all guys pretty much 75 overall or below. Very impressive, especially a lot of that was done in the sim. So I think we found ourselves a nice little meta. Harry Colin led the team, 98 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 interceptions. John Solomon was respectable as well, 95 tackles with 3 picks. We got 11 sacks. Alan Aldridge, 6.5 from Warren Sapp, who I think probably was on a pace to hit double digits before he had a season-ending injury. And interceptions there, Solomon with 3, Harry Coleman with 3, Dave Thomas with 3. Looking at the yearly awards here. Let's see if we have any Jags. MVP goes to Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. Wow, no I think Mark Brunell probably should have made that MVP shortlist. Offensive player in the AFC goes to Joe Montana. Mark Brunell coming in number 10. That almost feels like sympathy votes there. But look, Dan Marino kind of fell off a cliff here now that we left. Makes me feel good about our system. Derek Thomas wins Defensive Player of the Year. Alan Aldridge, nice, showing up at number 10. He was one of our expansion picks. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Cordell Stewart. Pete Mitchell at 10. We're just getting all like the freaking, we'll give them 10. Make them feel good about themselves. Something named Alundis Bryce wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. With, look at that, free agent comes ahead of John Solomon. Best quarterback goes to Cordell Stewart with Mark Brunell at 9. Best running back goes to Marshall Falk. Best wide receiver goes to J.J. Burden. Desmond Howard coming in at number 3. Jimmy Smith at number 8. For the best offensive line, nothing for us. Best defensive line, nothing. Best linebacker, Alan Aldridge coming in at number 5. I think we probably should have got, honestly, looking at it, a little bit more respect for Warren Sapp here on the Defensive Rookie of the Year nod. He was great while he was out there. Best defensive back, Harry Coleman at number 8. Wow, Defensive Rookie of the Year was a corner. Alundis Bryce, interesting. And then for kicker, no love to it. I mean, just whatever, man. It was, we had certain expectations that were drastically shifted when we started 6-1. But at the end of the day, we kind of finished how I thought things were going to finish. As we close out the 1995 season, the Chiefs defeat the 49ers 25-21 in the Super Bowl. A little bit of a revenge game. A little bit. Massive revenge game for Joe Montana. Getting one over on his former team. But as it relates to the Jags, this is where we can look at our dev traits that were gained and or lost during our expansion season. And an absolute bummer not to see any dev trait there for the now injured Mark Brunell. Also an absolute bummer to see 5-point regression to Bo Jackson. The positives is Desmond Howard is now a star dev, as well as rookie tight end Pete Mitchell, who led the team in receptions. So I'm glad that we at least had a couple guys go in the right direction on the offense. Defensively, had a little bit of nice upgrades as well. Before Warren Sapp and Aldridge were our only 2 dev trait players. Harry Coleman up to a star dev, as well as corner Dave Thomas. So these are some, nice pieces along the defense, but obviously still massive work to do for the squad to get to where we really want to be. Sauerbrunn was a hidden dev punter that popped as a star dev as well. Mock Draft 3 has released at the beginning of the offseason, and very happy with the current projection. Very happy with that. For free agency, have an opportunity to spend, if we really want to, some legends like John Randall, Nate Newton. That's probably it. Kevin Green's there at this point, a little bit later in his career, but that could be a potentially fun user. But I decided to kind of go on the humble side of things. Still make a couple moves here. But ultimately, I really, unless there's just an awesome can't miss name, I don't really want to pull the trigger. So I'm going to look at Lorenzo Neal. I still have full intentions of trying to, wherever we get with that first pick, hopefully it's an absolute stud, to trade back into the back end of the first round to get Mike Allstott. And if I get Mike Allstott, a backfield of Mike Allstott with Lorenzo Neal lead blocking for him would be incredible. Also, there's a safety named John Booty. And I figure if there's ever an injury, if we have John Booty and Harry Coleman as our safety duo, I want to be a part of that. Uncontested, we were able to land both John Booty and Lorenzo Neal in free agency. And where I want to finish today's video is with the final mock draft to give us a lay of the land of how the top picks are going to break out. Right now, Cedric Jones, Oilers just want to get a bust passing on Keyshawn Johnson, John Ogden, and Eddie George in the top 5. Got Simeon Rice there. Marvin Harrison projected to go to the Saints. Monty Toomer to the Raiders. T.O. to the Bears. That's a massive jump up. He was projected actually to be below our pick. Ray Lewis to the Eagles. Eric Moulds there. We are in line right now to land Weapon X. There was I can't modify anything that's behind the scenes. This has actually been the role that we've got, which is going to be absolutely incredible. Even though I don't really have the confidence. You have to have chaotic confidence to use her as safety, I think, on the defensive side of the ball, but could make him our starting sub linebacker, which I likely would do. We don't want to step on Booty Cole and safety duo. So I absolutely would love to be all over Brian Dawkins there. And as we drip down in the 20s, Musa Muhammad at 23. I love the fact that as it stands right now, wow, Mike Allstott has slipped out of the first round. Well, at this point, fellas, I guess there's not much to say. I don't think there's going to be any amount of convincing that could say C4, get Ray Lewis, get T.O. As much as I love Brian Dawkins, you could probably make the argument those guys there probably going to be, at least in terms of rating, a higher rating. But I think as long as Brian Dawkins' Weapon X is available at pick 16, it's not sacrilegious for me to not let Brian Dawkins go to the Eagles, right? They're going Ray Lewis. They're going to be perfectly fine with their selection. But are we all in agreement that in terms of players falling out of the second round, we should do everything in our power to get Mike Allstott in the second round? If you guys think that's not the approach, I don't really know, looking at the big board, who else we would want to try to be aggressive to get that's going to fall out of the first round. You know, some of the guys that we didn't see, there's no way that's actually a guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, is it? There's no way, right? There's no way. But like Mike Allstott, that's my dude right now. I mean, Terry Glenn is going to be potentially early second round. Eddie Kennison, shout out to the Chiefs. Joe Horn, okay. I mean, those are a little bit of like later round picks. Not much at tight end in terms of offensive line. That'd be cool, getting John Runyon. That might be a guy I want to try to target there for sure on the offensive line. A little bit of Eagles bias. Tony Brackens could potentially fall out of the first round that we might want to be aggressive in getting. Larry Izzo, not really. Zach Thomas, it was actually a player that we scouted. Zach Thomas would be a pretty dope middle linebacker, and given his talent, I think even if he was there in the third round, might need to be aggressive to get a Zach Thomas type player. And at least, in the argument of like, do we not go Mike Allstott? Zach Thomas could be there. Teddy Bruce could be there. And we definitely want to improve our linebacking core. I think it's the unit that needs the most TLC from this draft class. But again, if you view Brian Dawkins like I do right now as our sub linebacker, there's our guy. That is going to be the guy that we can control in the middle of our defense, and we can kind of defer the other positions for how we want to maximize that. Laurie Malloy there as well. So lots of different options for the second round. Let your voices be known in the comment section below how you kind of want to see this all fall out. I'll be checking it all weekend, and likely we'll have another episode dropping on Monday, first thing for you guys. So make sure you let your voices be heard. Thank you guys very much for tuning in this video. I'm glad you guys are effing with this series. Very much appreciate it, especially at this point in time of the Madden cycle. So if it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Comment what you would like to see me do in the draft, and I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.